I've been a designer for over half a decade right now. And if I was to design a business which offers laundry and pressing services to its customers, this is exactly how we'll go, step by step. But before we go over how we designed the business, let us first of all identify what the business is and who they serve. So, Snap Wash Pressing is a laundry and pressing business which offers 24-hour services, which is basically round the clock and available for their customers constantly. They also offer delivery services and pickup for the customers with their laundry. So this is a done for you business. The customer just brings the clothes, then the business cleans it and delivers it back to them. So now, who do they serve? They serve people who want to spend their free time doing relaxing things that they actually enjoy, rather than spending their free time in doing laundry and moving up and about. Next, let's look at the keywords, the brand values for the business. We have speed, just like the name Snap Wash in a snap. We have reliability, because they are able to do pickup and delivery services for the laundry. That's very comfortable. Then we'll have comfort, like I just said, and we'll have care, because they take care of the customer's clothes. Snap Wash was about to launch, so they had three simple problems. The first thing is they wanted to stand out among their competitors. The second problem which they had was that they needed a way to capture the attention of their target audience. And the last problem was that they needed visuals, we needed engaging visuals which the customer can relate to and they can use on their social media and wherever they may choose to advertise. So following these problems, we will design a visual identity for the business, which will include a logo suite, a color palette, typographic pairings, and brand illustrations for this business. And also, to make sure that the business stays consistent and keeps following their identity, we'll prepare brand guidelines for them as well. Okay, so before any designing could get done, the first step of the design process is to fill out a questionnaire, which basically brings out the in-depth information about the business, what they offer, who they are, and how exactly do they serve their customers. And following this questionnaire, the second thing which I did was to create a brand strategy document, which also had creative direction proposals. These proposals came through the form of mood boards. The mood boards show visually how exactly the brand would look like at the end of the design process, so the client can now choose how exactly which direction fits their ideas and the business perfectly. And from the two which I presented to the client, they chose one, and this is exactly how it looks like. So now we can get into the designing part of it. For the design part of it, I chose the typography. I chose a font which is variable, as in it can be used in a condensed format which is small, it can be used normally, and it can be used wide, which means that the letters are basically stretched out. So all these different formats of the fonts can now be used depending on the emotion which wants to be evoked. For example, we formed a slogan for the business, which is God Laundry, which is basically a marketing technique to make the customers identify that if they have laundry, the first person they have to call is Snap Wash Pressing. We now wrote this slogan in a condensed format. This is to make it stand out instantly, because normally the typography style used for the business will be in a regular format. Then the other typography style which will be used by the business is the wide format. This wide format now will be used as headings or to highlight certain text which needs to stand out among the rest. For the logo, for the primary logo to be specific, we will begin by taking the semi-condensed version of the fonts and now customizing it to make it unique to this business. After writing Snap Wash, we will now customize the A's. We want it to look modern and fast, like there's movement. So the A's will be forward moving. We will now write the word pressing in a smaller font size, such that the brand name Snap Wash is the first thing which is read, and pressing now is read as the second thing, which is basically the brand services. The second logo in the logo suite now will be the secondary logo, and this will be the same as the primary logo, but I'll make it in a stacked format so that it can be used on more rounded surfaces and on square surfaces or surfaces with even sides. The primary one, the primary logo is more horizontal, so it may work best on horizontal surfaces, places like on websites, on packaging, on boxes, and the rest. However, this secondary style may work best on wider surfaces and surfaces that have enough gap up, above, and by the sides of it. The next logo for the logo suite will be the logo mark. This is the logo mark or the favicon which can be used as a website icon. To create it, we'll take the customized letter A, which we did for the primary logo. We will now reduce the stroke in between that makes the A itself. We will take that particular shape and make something which is like a rotating element to evoke the fact that Snapwatch pressing is a round the clock business and deliver within 24 hours, which is very fast and very reliable. So this movement, it shows the constant movement of time and how reliable the business is no matter the time they are contacted. Then the last logo for the logo suite will be the submark logo. So this logo now, we want something which can work on badges, which can work on t-shirts. We will use the logo mark as well as the brand name, which is Snapwatch pressing, and will now form a badge from it, as well as including the text established in 2025, which is the year which the business got started. The next brand element will now be the brand colors. So from the brand strategy document, we realize that the business wants colors which stand out, which are bold, vibrant, and attract the attention of the target customers. And after analyzing the competitors within the space of the market, they are focusing more on thick blue colors, which represents water and it's actually very generic, as well as thick green colors. So for this business, what we want is a blend of that as well as something which feels unique. So we'll bring in the blue, but we'll bring in a lighter version of it, something like sky blue, or the real name is pale cornflower blue. This blue is not the same as the thick blues which most businesses use. Then we'll bring in other colors such as the tea green, which is basically a light version of green. We'll bring in orange, or the real name is persimmon for the exact color we use. Then we'll bring in Philippine brown, which shows the stability and warmth of the brand towards its customers. We'll also bring in a thick version of the green to show how the business can be fresh but still rooted in value. Now, the last visual element we'll have is the brand illustrations. For the illustrations, we chose to create something which evokes the emotions of how customers feel rather than doing laundry, which basically means that we wanted to show how the customers will look like when they're not doing laundry and doing things which they actually enjoy. For example, we created illustrations of customers pressing their phones, customers relaxing and sipping coffee or tea, customers just going on a jog or doing sports, customers reading a book, and customers just going through newspapers and doing things which they actually enjoy doing. So now when we bring in the typography pairings, we bring in the logo suite, we bring in the color palette, and we now bring in the brand illustrations. This form the whole visual identity for Snap Watch pressing. Et voilà.